Now we're going to take a look at some exam strategies which I have found to work for many students. On the day of the exam, I have 8 strategies for you to consider. 1. Reboot the computer. Believe it or not, a system reboot can solve many computer issues. A reboot resets all the resources, which often brings the computer back to a reliable and stable state. Remember, a rebooted computer is a happy computer. 2. Open SOLIDWORKS and the Tangix testing software only. Close out of any other applications such as email, Facebook, and so on. Having only SOLIDWORKS and the testing software open provides for the least amount of distractions. 3. Always read through all questions before beginning the exam. The reason for this, you may be making multiple changes to the same problem for several questions. Knowing what will be expected of you in later questions helps you plan how you are going to approach the design intent of the model. 4. Save often, because if the computer crashes, you will need to reopen SOLIDWORKS and the testing software and resume the test. A computer crash will not result in an exam makeup. 5. Many of the questions can be completed out of order. So one strategy is to read all exam questions first, before starting the exam, and then answering the easy ones first. 6. I have taken many of the SOLIDWORKS exams and found that keeping track of my progress is a strategy that works for me. I take a piece of notebook paper and write a number for each question in the left-hand column. For example, this exam consists of 20 questions, so I print the numbers 1 through 20 down the left-hand column. As I work through the questions, if I feel confident in my answer, I will put a check mark on that question number. Or, if I only feel good about my answer, but would like to take a closer look at the problem should I have time remaining, I will draw a circle around the question number. And last, if I had difficulty with a question and have an answer I am not feeling good about, I will place an X on the question number and return to it later in the exam if time is available. 7. In this exam, you have 100 minutes. If you finish early, use every remaining second to review your answers. Return to the numbered sheet you made earlier to see what you need to review. Do not end the exam early if you are done with the 20 questions. I have seen far too many students who completed the exam early and submitted the results only to realize they failed the exam because of a simple mistake. Personally, I finished one exam in about half the allotted time. Had I not gone back and carefully reviewed each of my answers, I would not have found a decimal point mistake, which would have resulted in a failed exam. And last, number 8, this exam does not test you on best practices. It is only testing you on the completed final geometry. Use features you know well and are confident in. In closing, if you are not successful in passing the exam, do not get frustrated. I know it's easier said than done. Take a deep breath and write down some notes about the exam in areas where you had difficulty. And then research those areas so you are ready the next go-around. The drawing tools exam you take the next time will be very similar to the first one with some slight variations in the values. In order to attempt the exam a second time, you will need to purchase another voucher and wait 30 days between each attempt. Try to take the exam as soon as possible after the 30-day wait period while the exam is still somewhat fresh in your memory. If you follow these strategies, I am confident you will be successful.